Top 21. David Robinson. The Admiral. David Robinson is a truly exceptional player who ranks 21st on our list. This shows how difficult it is to rank these players. He won the championship twice, the MVP award once, and was named to the All-Star team 10 times. He was also named Defensive Player of the Year 4 times and was selected as a first-team All-NBA player 4 times. It's possible we have Robinson ranked too low, but when you compare the best players, it's like splitting hairs. Robinson wasn't flashy, but he helped the San Antonio Spurs win many championships. The team kept winning even after Robinson left and was replaced by Tim Duncan. Robinson was a player who achieved great things, and his statistics show that. He averaged 21.1 points and 10.6 rebounds per game, a double-double, for his career, and he averaged 3.0 blocks per game. That's impressive. He was one of the best players of his era, and he made the NBA's 75th anniversary team because of his amazing athleticism. The Admiral was a great all-around player. Top 20. Julius Irving. Dr. J was known as the best basketball player before Michael Jordan. The NBA joined with the ABA in 1976 because of the doctor. There were a lot of other great players too, like George Gervin. He continued to play very well in another league after winning 2 championships with the Nets in the ABA. He helped the Sixers reach the finals during his first season in the modern NBA, but lost to Bill Walton's Blazers in 6 games. Dr. J's style of play was unique. He moved easily through the air, using his long limbs to drive to the basket, and his hair blew in the wind as he played. I can only imagine how that looked back in those days. It was probably like watching an alien. Sometimes I watch his reverse layup during the 4th quarter of Game 4 of the 1980 Finals against the Lakers and try to figure out how he was able to stay in the air that long. He's not just a show-off either. His career statistics are just as impressive as his plays. He averaged 24.2 points per game, PPG, 8.5 rebounds per game, RPG, 4.2 assists per game, APG, 2.0 steals per game, SPG, and 1.7 blocks per game, BPG. He made it onto the All-Star team 11 times, won 3 MVP awards in both the NBA and ABA, and was selected for the 75th anniversary team. Dr. J is the godfather of the modern NBA. Top 19. Karl Malone. Karl Malone is one of many great players from the 90s who were overshadowed by Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Losing 2 championship games to Michael Jordan and the Bulls certainly didn't help. However, Malone is the second highest scorer in NBA history, averaging 25.0 points per game over his 19 seasons. He was named the NBA Most Valuable Player, MVP, twice, appeared in 14 All-Star games, and was selected for the All-NBA First Team 11 times. He is also a member of the 75th anniversary team. The numbers show that Malone is easily a top 20 player in NBA history. While he never won a championship, Malone's consistent performance speaks for itself. Top 18. Jerry West. Before he was known as the Logo, his teammates called him Mr. Clutch. Jerry West was a very good shooter. He made 47.4% of his shots during his career. He retired after the 1974 season. He was one of the top 5 players in several categories. These categories were points scored, points per game, free throws made, and assists. He played in 9 NBA Finals with the Lakers, but he only won 1 title in 1972. He was one of the greatest guards ever. He made the All-Star team each of his 14 seasons in Los Angeles. He was selected for 12 All-NBA teams. He was selected for the All-Defense team 5 times. It was obvious he would be on the NBA's 75th anniversary team. West did it all. He led the league in scoring during the 1969-70 season and in assists during his 1 championship season. He played with some other legendary Lakers, and the 1-8 record in the finals is impressive. But as great as he was in the regular season, West really shone in the playoffs. He averaged 30 or more points 7 times, including an amazing 40.6 points over 11 games in 1965. Back then, every player was compared to Michael Jordan just like they are today. He was the best and should have been chosen as the league's logo, even if he was a bit embarrassed by the honor. Top 17. Dirk Nowitzki. This ranking is tough. This section of the list includes many legendary big men from NBA history, but Dirk is ranked 17th because of the way he changed the game. Before Dirk, it was rare to see a 7-foot player in the NBA who could shoot from the three-point line. Now look at the NBA today. If your team doesn't have a tall player who can make three-pointers, you probably won't win. Dirk changed the game. His stats and awards prove how important he was. He scored over 30,000 points in his career, won an MVP award, made 14 All-Star appearances, was named to the NBA's 75th anniversary team, and received many other honors. Most importantly, he did all this with the same team his whole career. I also didn't mention how magical he was during the 2011 NBA Finals when his Mavs upset LeBron James and the Heat. Top 16. Charles Barkley. It's crazy that Chuck is now considered underrated. He was on the NBA 75 team, and people forget that he was a dominant player for years as a 6 feet 6 inches power forward. He was great at rebounding, averaging 11.7 per game for his career, even in his down years in Houston. Barkley was also a great offensive player. He won the 1993 Most Valuable Player award and took his team, the Suns, to the finals, where they lost to Jordan's Bulls. Chuck played bigger than he was and was way more athletic than people thought. Early in his career, he was quicker and stronger than everyone else, but as he got older, he was able to add more finesse to his game. Barkley's style of play was unique. He would start by getting the other team's attention and then make long-range shots. This made it hard for the other team to focus their defense on just one area of the court. He was always one of the most entertaining players on and off the court, which led to his Emmy award-winning role as a studio host on Inside the NBA. Younger generations get to enjoy the Chuckster in ways older NBA fans never imagined. For you guys, know that there's still never been a player quite like him. Top 15. Kevin Garnett. The big ticket is one of those players where the rings conversation doesn't matter much. He helped change the power forward position more than Tim Duncan did. He's a center, but I feel like he hasn't gotten the credit he deserves because of all those years playing for bad teams in Minnesota. If he had been drafted by the Spurs, KG would have won more than one championship. He was overshadowed by Duncan, whose stats are slightly better, but Garnett was by far the more fun player to watch. KG's unique offensive skills were on display, but he really shone on defense. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 2008, the same year he won his only championship in Boston. He was also named to the All-Defensive Team 12 times and was selected for the league's 75th anniversary team. He was one of the best players of his size in the history of the NBA, just like Magic Johnson. He even modeled his game after Magic when he was younger. This helped make KG one of the most versatile big men in the NBA. Top 14. Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem, the Dream. Olajuwon's inclusion in this part of the list needs no explanation. He's one of the greatest big men of all time. You could argue that Olajuwon only won his 2 NBA titles after Michael Jordan retired. But if you do, you don't understand how hard it is to win a championship. Not only was Olajuwon the MVP in both of those NBA Finals appearances, but he also took home the league MVP in 1994, played in 12 All-Star games, is the NBA's all-time leader in blocks with 3,830, and is a member of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. It's still mind-boggling to watch old highlights and see how smooth Olajuwon, a truly dominant force on both sides of the ball, was able to move in the paint for a player his size. Even more impressive in the context of Olajuwon's career is that he did all of this while big men, outside of Michael Jordan, ruled the NBA. The Dream Shake will forever be one of the most iconic moves in NBA history, and for that we will always be grateful to Hakeem Olajuwon. Top 13. Oscar Robertson. While we can argue day and night about the value of the triple-double in today's positionless game, when Oscar Robertson became the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double in a season, it was nothing short of monumental. Point guards weren't supposed to be 6 feet 5 inches scoring machines who could get a bucket from anywhere on the court like the Big O. Nor were they expected to tear up the boards in double figures on a nightly basis. But Robertson broke the mold nearly 20 years before Magic Johnson made his debut. He nearly averaged a triple-double in his rookie season before his iconic campaign during the 1961-62 season when he was good for 30.8 ppg, 12.5 rpg, and 11.4 apg a night. We all know that Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and at least a handful of other stars can screw around and get a triple-double practically whenever they want. But only Westbrook has put up the seasonal averages 3 times to match Robertson's brilliance, and Russ isn't anywhere near the offensive juggernaut Robertson was. The Big O was a nightmare matchup because he scored in ways that few could figure out. The 1964 NBA MVP, 1961 Rookie of the Year, 12-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA selection, NBA 75. I can go on. His college career is virtually unparalleled, but since we're talking about professional basketball, you should know that he was the only player other than Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell to win an MVP between 1960 and 68. He also played a huge role in the NBA's introduction of free agency when he filed a lawsuit against the league in 1970 that challenged the legality of the league's proposed merger with the ABA, the merits of the draft, and the reserve clause that prevented players from signing with any team they wanted. Top 12. Bill Russell. You want to talk underrated? Bill Russell is grossly underrated when it comes to greats. Not only is he the greatest winner in all of American sports, Russell is also the smartest and best defensive player to ever pick up a basketball. Like Kareem's skyhook, Bill's knack for keeping the ball in play after a block is a lost art, as players would rather slam the ball into the stands and bend their opponent than make the right play. His signature play of tapping the ball to a teammate helped him invent the fast break. Blocks and steals weren't tracked back then, but some researchers claim Russell averaged between 8 to 12 blocks per game. Not only did Russell win 11 NBA titles, the last 2 as a player coach, he is undefeated in Game 7s, going 10-0 when it's win or go home time. Wilt Chamberlain is ranked higher on this list because his numbers are just too ridiculous, but he couldn't beat Bill even with the help of Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. The only player in history to come close to his win total is Michael Jordan. Players don't choose the era they play in, all we can do is look at who dominated it. And nobody on this list comes close to what Russell, an obvious member of the NBA 75th anniversary team, has done. There's a reason the Finals MVP award is named after him. He really was ahead of his time. Top 11. Kevin Durant. To me, Kevin Durant is the most skilled offensive player to ever play the game. He's a 7 guard. There's practically no formula to stop him. He has the full offensive package with no weaknesses. He can shoot from anywhere on the court, he can get to the rim at will, and if you end up contesting his shot, it probably won't matter because he can shoot over you with ease. KD has only averaged under 25 points per game once in his 12 seasons, and that came in his rookie campaign. He went to a 73-9 Warriors team with a 2-time MVP and the undisputed greatest shooter of all time in Steph Curry and made him his Robin. Call him a snake, call him a cupcake, call him whatever you want. But you can't deny the numbers he's consistently put up. It's earned him a spot on the NBA 75 team. If he brings home another title in Brooklyn, he could be in the top 10 by the end of his career.